Alright everyone, welcome to war number 1 of season 45. I took a little bit of a break just because life takes priority, and then with that, just didn't have time to make at least the last half of videos for last war season. But we're going to start off strong this war, and for node number 1, we're going to bring out our rank 3 torch up for this Mephisto. Now this is a straightforward fight. Really just activate Nova, and the rest will be essentially left up to the passive incinerates from Null Flame. Not much to it. We faced these guys last season in the final war, and we did end up beating them. And we're hoping to mimic that going into this first war. Now, this next fight, I mess up, I'll be honest. But with Antman and his glancing, it allows me just to circumvent that mistake, because the thing that I really messed up on is the timer, specifically when it comes to masochism on node 10. Now, I got a little frantic here, so when I went to convert my fatigue debuffs into poisons, I missed, and I wasn't keeping track of the timer on when they expired to convert the poisons, and so masochism ends up eating all of them. And so it's a little bit difficult because I can't rely on sort of like heavy baiting for this node, mostly because he's unblockable. Well, man, he is the whole fight. And so I don't really mind just like taking a few hits to the face, mostly because I'll be able to heal that back up with the potions afterwards, as well as with Antman's glancing. Like I said earlier, I'll be able to just take the hit. I take a lot of hits to the face. It was not the plan, it's just the way the fight unfolds, and just going with it. Now, I never use Rintra, at least for war, like at all. But with assignments, this Cersei versus really the node selection, I want to minimize my dash back as much as possible, and since Rintra will only be used for this fight, I can take advantage of the block as is necessary. Now, Cersei, she plays along, it's just that at the base, Rintra doesn't do much damage outside of his ruptures, and so I want to at least abuse, as much as possible of course, Rintra's block, as well as increase energy resistance, specifically when it comes to tanking Cersei specials, and then on top of that, making sure that I keep my eye on the root timer, and then stack up my ruptures with the root activated, and then launch my SP2 so for some big damage. Now, if only that crit would have hit the first time around, the fight would be over. That's my main gripe at Rintra, but not a big deal. Now, this is an interesting fight, as well as an interesting placement. I have here a Spidey Supreme and on Buffet. Now, Antman completely shuts this down, mostly due to the fact that Antman is buff immune, and with that buff immunity, I'm going to take the opportunity for this diversity placement to at least heal back up with my Cogman regen boost, and then on top of that, build up my fatigues in an effort just so I'm able to take my assigned mini with as much ease as possible. Now, since I was able to at least heavy punish right here, I can refresh those fatigues and then convert them to poisons, which do massive amount of damage, which I can pause whenever I want to. But honestly, it wasn't even necessary. I did it just there, but with Antman, his damage upkeep is so seamless, especially with the tactic. Now this fight I had to turn on suicides. It's node 38 Sassy, and thank goodness he was not awakened, because this fight is going to take a while, and with the awakening, Sassy gains his opponent regen, and it would have been a lot to contend with, especially since the node is never back down. And then ideally, you want a champ that applies at least a Petrify as well as Exhaustions to Sassy. That way he doesn't go into Wrath. And then you're able to also counter the regen when he gets close to death. And so, that is why we're turning on Suicides, and we're just going to at least maximize the SP3 rotation as much as possible. Not worry too much about the hits that we take to block, because we are going to take a lot. And with that, it's all about surviving. Surviving as well as utilizing the power back boost along with a knockdown, so when I cycle my SP3s, I'm able to get back faster, and then on the way to the SP3s, include some more knockdowns. That way, I'm able to maximize my damage output, along with getting out of the fight as well, with as much health as possible. Now, for obvious reasons, I did decide to speed this specific fight up, mostly because this fight took forever, and with that, I wanted to get out as soon as possible, but we're going out on a bang. We're coming out of this fight with at least more than 50%, which I call that an absolute profit. Now, going into this war, we are coming in with our AG3 a little bit newer than we would have liked, and so we have to build chemistry as a team, not just in the off-season, but like in season as well. And so the result at the end of this war is going to be a loss. Now, it's only the first war of the season, so it's not a huge deal, but in the future, there's a lot of things we have to clean up, and we're looking forward to next war to bouncing back with a win.